legs are on fire. My heart is on fire. Any ounce of energy that is left in my body is going into this sprint. Since I started racing last year, it has completely changed how I see myself. When I get on my bike and I start moving, it's physical white noise. All of a sudden I can think about things. You got the wind rushing past, and you just zone out. Before every race, you're so nervous. But as soon as that whistle blows, that all has to melt away. It's almost like I race because you told me I can't. Because you told me I shouldn't be here. Today, I win.
Normatec recovery systems give you a high-tech compression massage for warm-up pre-workout and recovery post-workout.
The technology is very safe and is used by a broad range of athletic types and really any fitness enthusiast looking to get the most out of their workout.
The whole idea is that we're using air compression to help increase circulation in the body. We wanted to mimic physiology, the way the body moves fluids. We went ahead and took a lot of those principles and put it into a system that you can use on your different extremities and your hips as well.
Normatec has been an industry leader in pneumatic compression, providing improved mobility and profound healing for thousands of patients. We continually work with researchers to study and develop the effectiveness of our technology.
It's all about creating that community space where people have a conversation around recovery and start really challenging their beliefs in what is possible and what they've known and maybe what could be.
The USA Cycling Foundation funds the Olympic dream and our nation's best young athletes, giving young riders the opportunities to compete at the highest levels of competitive cycling.
Riders who have represented the USA in the World Championships and the Olympics are an inspiration to all of us. The USA Cycling Foundation supports the complicated development process for these athletes. And that's critical not just for our best athletes, but also for developing the next generation of athletes. And this is only made possible by generous private gifts from cycling enthusiasts like you.
I am Taylor Wiles, and I'm a professional cyclist racing for Trek Drops and the U.S. national team. The USA Cycling Foundation has supported me for nearly 8 years. The USA Cycling Foundation has been critical in supporting my career and helping me get over to Europe to race over there, racing at the World Championships, and the camps that we get to do to prepare for nationals and World Championships are all supported by USA Cycling.
Hi, I'm Kate Courtney. I'm a professional mountain bike racer and part of the USA Cycling national team and the current elite women's cross-country world champion. If USA Cycling hadn't supported me in my cycling pursuits, I'm not sure I would have had the opportunity or the ability to set my sights on really being competitive in Europe. Thank you to the USA Cycling Foundation for believing in me, for supporting me, and for continuing to encourage me and other riders like me to set their sights on the top level.
Please support our athletes and teams with a tax-deductible gift today. Visit our website to make a gift online. Your gift will fund training and racing development programs for our nation's best young cycling athletes. Please make a contribution today.
Hello, Frank Cundiff here with Echelon Racing League, and welcome to the Fayetteville Joe Martin Stage Race Criterium. It's going to be a phenomenal race today on our 2-kilometer, 30 meters of climbing course. This is one of the hardest criteriums in the United States when it comes to in real life racing, and I have a feeling it's going to be very similar on the RGT cycling platform as well. I'm here today via ZMS live stream, courtesy of our sponsors, our RGT Cycling, Biomoto, Hyperice, Saris, as well as our partner USA Cycling. This course takes place in downtown Fayetteville as part of the Joe Martin Stage Race, a phenomenal pro race that takes place in Fayetteville, Arkansas. It will be, I do believe it's been rescheduled, the in real life one. I don't have those dates on me right now, but as soon as we get them, we will announce those out. This course is tricky with lots of hills and lots of turns, and it's going to test everything that our athletes have today. Our Cat 1 through 4 men will be starting in 1 minute and 20 seconds. The top 10 from the category 1-2 in both our men's and women's events will qualify for the professional Joe Martin Stage Race next weekend, the 5th event in our 8-race Echelon Racing League series. This weekend has been the Joe Martin Stage Race at community races. Yesterday was the Devil's Den Hill Climb Time Trial Prologue event. Next weekend will be our professional 3-day stage race with the Prologue Devil's Den Time Trial Friday night, Eastern Time. Saturday will be the road race, and then Sunday will be this crit we are getting ready to watch right now. The race weekend after that will be the Indy Crit in Indianapolis, followed by the Dirty River Road Race on RGT's new Dirty River course. And then Tour of America's Dairyland will finish off the series with 4 days of crit racing. We've got about 20 seconds before the start here. Let's go ahead and get to the start line and watch these racers kick it off. And we are off in our Cat 4 race here. Here's our Cat 3s. This course is going to be testing quite a bit from our athletes. There has been we are piloting some slight physics adjustments to the RGT cycling platform with this race. Here's our Cat 2 field all together as they start off. And our Cat 1 field, which is all together with 1 or 2 dangling off the back, but they should be able to get back on. Our racers today will be taking on this course for 20 laps. That's 40K of racing. This course typically lends itself to be a reduced field sprint in the in real life events, and sometimes a breakaway. It depends on how the racers want to race it. I do believe today we will see maybe a small breakaway, but I'm going to go with a reduced field sprint. So our Cat 1 and our Cat 2, actually all of our racers are flying up the front stretch hill to the start finish line to start lap 2. This hill's going to wear down on them as they go through this for 20 laps. Quite a few of our Echelon Racing League Pro League racers racing this race, getting ready, doing a little recon before next weekend's professional stage race. Cat 1 race still all together, about halfway through lap 2 here. Just like a typical crit in real life, the first 20 minutes of this is just all out and it's hang on and stay with the group. We'll see between the 20 and 30 minute mark a lull in the group most likely, and then they'll assess, and then we'll see some attacks starting to go. "32 riders in this Cat 1 field. Pretty decent field size here. Still everyone all together. In the Cat 2, we've got 30 riders. Looks like about half that field is in this front group now. So definitely selections being made as they come up the front stretch. Climb. Cat 3 race, we've got 16 riders towing the line, with a quick selection being made of 7 riders here. Brad Borders, representing Project Echelon, has won handful of Cat 4 races and has upgraded into the Cat 3 field and seems to be making himself at home. In the Cat 4 race, looks like we've got 3 riders making a selection, with one more, Smith there in 4th, chasing, trying to bridge to this group of 3. It's a tough effort, but I do think he'll make it. Behind Smith, we got Welsh and Guscott. Gus is, for those that don't know, is the brains behind our results on the EchelonRacingLeague.com page. In the Cat 1 field, we got Mike Lister and Mike Swart, Restart Racing, and I believe Lister is with Dirt Racing, trying to go up the road, but they are quickly consumed by the field. Mike Lister puts a series of events on himself. The MRE TTT series is his. Highly recommend it when it kicks back off. Checking it out. Great training for getting used to the RGT physics. And it's a phenomenally fun series. Mike Swart of Restart Racing is the brains behind the RGTDB website. If anyone utilizes that. RGTDB.com. DeltaBravo.com. You can see upcoming events, live event results, and check out various Magic Road courses. So everyone here on their 3rd lap, it looks like. Cat 1 all together. Most of the field still in there in that front group. Our riders here in their pain caves really pushing it out. You can really see different pedaling techniques, different position on the bike. Cat 1's all together as they go up this front stretch to start lap 4. The Cat 2 race is getting strung out as well as they go up the climb to start lap 4. A lot of red numbers there as people are really going deep up this climb. They're really going to feel that here as they get into the later laps of this race. Big attack from Alex Pleger and Hazara. Stringing it out there. Let's see if they stay on the power over the top and try to get that, snap that rubber band back to the field. Hazara goes over the top of Pleger. Schnorr bridges across to the two of them, and now we have a group of 3 being chased by a group of 6. Really starting to blow up here. Still a significant amount of racing left. Race will take about an hour, and we are almost 9 minutes in. Hazara has separated from Schnorr and Pleger. Looks like they're going to let him go solo. In a Cat 3 race, looks like we've got some separation there, with Barg going solo, but getting caught by Borders, McDaniel, and Boyd, creating a group of 4. And in the Cat 4 race, we've got 1 solo with 2 bridging. To Smith, with Smith in 4th, still trying to make that gap. Cat 2 race, looks like everyone's made contact here. Now we have a group of 9 trying to bridge up to a solo rider. Looks like we've got about 15 laps left in the Cat 2 race, and it's going to be a long solo move. In the Cat 1 race, Valera has gone solo to start the 5th lap up the hill, and is quickly swallowed up by the field. John Hamlin for Project Echelon Racing on the front there, with Hal Blackburn of Restart Racing and Max Power. Hazara still solo in the Cat 2 race. Like I said, they've got 15 laps of racing left. That's 14 laps of racing left now. That's a long time to stay solo. It'll be an impressive move if he can stick it. In a Cat 3 race, we got our group of 4. We got about 80 meters back to a group of 3. In the Cat 4 race, we've got Miles solo to a group of 2. And then Smith is in no man's land for 4th. Looks like Hamlin attacking up the hill there, getting a little gap over the top of Matt Moan from Inshore, presented by Pedal Power and Max Power there. John Hamlin's the DS for the Project Echelon virtual squad. You'll hear him on the team Discord during the commentating of Brad Soner and Frankie Andreu next weekend. John Cooper comes to the front for Triple X Athletica. John is the significant other of the phenomenal Jackie Godby, who is just dominating our women's professional series right now. In the Cat 2 race, we got the group going up the road. Cat 3, all four still together. Looks like they've settled in nicely and are working together. That gap has opened back to 5th place quite a bit. 5th and 6th seem to be working together. In the Cat 4 race, Aguilar still solo, back to a group of 2, about 40 meters. Smith in no man's land, looking like he's about to get caught by a group of 3. Pretty large groups here in our Cat 1 and Cat 2 fields still. About 25% of the way through the race. It's like Bowen and Reichertson above and beyond cancer, and Valera from Triple X Athletico getting a little gap, stringing it out. Cat 2 race, Alex Plager going up the hill pretty hard. All the numbers in red there. Stringing out his group of 7. In the Cat 3 race, we got Brad Borders going solo here. 60-meter gap back to a group of 3. Impressive ride by Brad here. Cat 4 race, we've got, I believe that is Seigel getting caught by Aguilar and Miles. Smith significantly back there, about 30 meters between him and 5th place, Garcia. We'll look to 2 of them to link up here in a minute. See if they can't work together to try to shut this gap down a little bit. Cat 1 and Cat 2 races, still pretty significantly sized fields. All the numbers in red in the Cat 1 as they go up the hill for the 7th lap. Oliver Dowd of Restart Racing and Melville getting a pretty large gap here. Again, we're about the 19-minute mark, so we'll see. These are these attacks coming as they start to lull. Oliver Dowd, for those that don't know, is the brains behind the eBioPassport site. His teammate Mike Swart bridging across to him, going over the top. A little 1-2 punch from Restart Racing here. The two of them are connected. See if they work together to stay away. Ash of Canyon Esports says no way and brings the field back up to the two of them. Cat 2 race, Alex Pleger stringing it out once again. Krzyzewski trying to follow, Neugebauer just behind him. Little onesie and twosie bike length gaps opening up between everyone in that group of 7. Our group of 4 still working together in the Cat 3 race. Orders being caught by the group of 3 chasers. In the Cat 4 race, we've got 1 solo, gapping off Miles and Seigel. Out of our 38 starters, looks like we've got a group of about 20 still in this front section. As Melville of Restart, as Melville from the Community Riders, Blackburn from Restart, and Matt Moen from Insured, presented by Pedal Power, set the pace up the front stretch. Melville going over the top and getting a little bit of separation from the field there, but began and swallowed up as they crest the top. Now Blodgett from Restart Racing going up the road. Restart Racing really doing a lot to animate this race and try to get something going. Good effort here by Blodgett. Not sure about super tucking on the negative 2% grade. Might want to put a little power out there. In the Cat 3 race, it looks like they've gapped off McDaniel a little bit, trying to make contact back to that group of 3. In the Cat 4 race, our 3 riders still working really well together. In our Cat 2 race, looks like we've got a group of 8 still together. Looks like things have settled down now in the Cat 1 race quite a bit. We'll look to see if we get some attacks going as we get into the 9th lap of this race. Sorry, finishing the 9th lap, starting the 10th. So we're at the halfway point almost. Restart, putting all their people on the front of this race, really trying to control the field. I don't know if Furman's camera there was frozen, but he looked cracked. Again, this is one of the hardest crit courses in the United States. It really takes a lot out of you. 20 times up this hill, it really saps the energy. Blackburn has a small gap to the field now. Probably not going to be able to hold it on this downhill. Looks like front group's still about 25 riders here in this field in the Cat 1 race. Cat 2 race rolling up to finish lap 9 with Hazara putting in a pretty big move. A little bit of hesitation from the rest of the field there, but Krajewski's going to try to shut this down. Nujabauer just on his wheel with Strimpelli and Rowbottom. Hazara with a really big gap here. 30 meters back to Schnorr and Krajewski. Cat 3 race, our group of 4. Come up to complete lap 8. 5th place, about 80 meters back, really trying to get on top of things and get back to that group. First place, putting a little bit of gap on those guys. In the Cat 4 race, our group of 3 now working pretty well together. Hazara with a large gap, opening up to almost 80 meters now, back to the field. In the Cat 1 race, at the halfway point, Oliver Dowd attacks, gets a big, decent-sized gap. His teammate Mike Swart looks like he's trying to bridge across. These two are going to try to do the old 1-2 for Restart Racing once again. Field just behind them. Again, they're going to get caught on this downhill. That gap just not large enough. Cat 2 field stringing out quite a bit. Cat 4 field. Stringing out a little with our front group of 3. Our group of 4 in the Cat 3 race are sticking together. In the Cat 2 race, a guy sitting on Hazara's wheels is a lapped rider, not on the front lap, so Hazara's still technically solo. Cat 1 field still more or less together. Putting in big moves up the front stretch for 9 to go. Big selection here in the Cat 1 race over the top that time. Looks like we got 5 riders going clear. Looks like as they're getting caught, Hamlin tries to go over the top a little bit and gets caught pretty quickly. Our Cat 1 field here, still about 25 riders. I do think a late attack is what's going to win this race in the Cat 1 field. All it takes is a little hesitation from the field when that attack goes. Cat 2 race. Hazara still solo. Pleger with a big attack up the front stretch. A little bit of gap to Krajewski, but not much. They'll probably come back together. Rowbottom just behind him, and then Schnorr, and then Smith. These 4 can work together, they can bring back Hazara. They've chopping that gap down quite a bit. Schnorr makes it back, but looks like Smith might be in trouble. Smith, Neugebauer, and Strimpelli are and some hurt there, about 50 meters back to that second group, the chase. In a Cat 3 race, a little bit of an attack there up the front stretch. Big gap to his 3 breakaway mates by Desboro. We'll see if he holds it. I don't think it's big enough to stay away. I think they're going to come back on the descent. Looking at how Hazara did, he need about 30 meters or so to stick it over the top of that finish hill. Looks like Hazara's about to get caught. And he is. So our front group in the Cat 2 is now 5 people, with Smith just behind about 25 meters, trying to get back in contact with those front riders. Cat 1 race is all together, about 25 in that front selection, that front group, the main field, some would call it. In the Cat 3 race, looks like we've got 5 riders all together. 6 riders. Sorry, it's 5 riders with 1 lapped rider in that mix. In the Cat 4 race, Aguilar still solo. Big attack by Melville here in the Cat 1 race. 7 laps to go. Dowd and Swarfer restarted on the front to bring him back, but that field is strung out single file as they go over the top. Swar goes right past Melville and keeps it rolling. Still numbers in the red, 6 watts per kilogram. 5 watts per kilogram now. Still keeping it pinned, still keeping that field strung out single file as they start the downhill. Swart sitting in 13th at the back of that group now. Melville not really attacking, just putting in a big dig on the front there to keep the pace up high. In the Cat 3 race, Desborough still with a large gap back to Boyd and Barg. And McDaniel. And Borders. So in the Cat 3 race, Desborough is solo, back to a group of 4. In the Cat 4 race, Aguilar has been caught. And it's now a group of 2 solo with a large gap back to Garcia in 3rd. Cat 2 race, we got a group of about 6 riders in the front group. A couple lapped riders in the mix there. Krzyzewski lining it out in the Cat 2 race. Schnorr going over the top of him. Really some big efforts going up this finish climb, but they're not holding the power through the top of it as they start that downhill. I think really the move that needs to be made is the power needs to be held on that downhill. It's only negative 2%. You can really still put power out on it and keep that pace high. Desborough's caught by that group of 4, and now it's 5 riding together. Cat 4 race, Aguilar looks like he's trying to get some separation from his breakaway mate. Cat 2 race, Krajewski still putting in decent effort. Trying to keep the pace high in that race. In the Cat 1 race, we're going to be coming around for 5 to go this time. Cat 2 race has 6 to go when they cross the finish line. Cat 3 race will have 8 to go. And the Cat 4 race just started 9 to go. Aguilar going solo in the Cat 4 race has separated from his breakaway mate significantly. When we get to about 3 to go in the Cat 1 race, we'll zoom in on that race and watch it to the finish and then switch over to the 2 race and then 3 and then the 4. So 5 to go for the Cat 1 race. 6 to go for the Cat 2. 7.5 for the Cat 3, and 8.5 for the Cat 4. Again, the Cat 1 race is playing out very similarly to the real life Joe Martin stage race, where it attack, especially with this hill where you don't really, not so much an attack as much as you have to put power out to go over the top of the start-finish hill. But, you know, usually reduced field sprint is what we see there, maybe a late attack, sometimes a breakaway, but, you know, the reduced field sprint is not unknown to this race. Oh, looks like Borders has a E-mechanical. Not sure what's going on there. But he has lost contact with his breakaway mates in the Cat 3. Getting back up to speed now. He's got a monster effort to do to get back up to these riders. Four laps to go for our Cat 1 race. 5 laps to go for the Cat 2 race. 7 to go for the Cat 3. 8 to go for the Cat 4. Revel there for Tour 2000, sitting towards the front. Hamlin going over the top, though, pretty hard, trying to line this race out a little bit. If this comes down to a sprint, I think my money is going to be on Matt Moen. Phenomenal sprinter for Inshore, presented by Pedal Power. Hard to beat. So as we come around for 3 to go on the Cat 1 race, we're going to zoom in and watch the rest of that, and then we'll switch over to the Cat 2 race. See if we get some fireworks here in the Cat 1 race in these final 3 laps. Started with about 38 riders. Looks like we're down to about 15 in the Cat 1 race. Melville with a monster attack. $10 per kilogram, 9 watts per kilogram, just really laying it out there. Revel not hesitating though for Tour 2000 and bridging across, going right over the top of Melville. Revel settles in the threshold. Little red number VO2 there. Good gap. Revel back to the field, and he's still putting the power on the downhill. This is what I was talking about. You really got to keep that power on to keep that gap from closing. About 40 meters back to the field. John Hamlin for Project Echelon on the front there with Valera from Triple X Athletica. It looks like the field's sitting up a little bit. There's that hesitation I was talking about. No one wants to take up the chase with 2.5 laps to go. Revel's gap is now up to 60, 70 meters. About 5 minutes of racing. This is basically a VO2 effort for Revel at this point. Gap's still going out. This is dangerous at this point. Schaefer with a big effort to try to bridge. Gap's down to 25 meters now. Back out to 30. I'm not sure if they're just playing with Revel or if it's just a cat and mouse game at this point. Melville on the front again. big double-digit numbers from Melville, 10, 12 watts per kilogram. Dowd for restart. Trying to follow Melville's wheel. Mike Lister just on that wheel. And then Schaefer, Bowen, then John Hamlin. Just gaps opening up left and right. Looks like Melville is going to catch Revel, as is Dowd. Dowd goes over the top. We now have a group of 5. Revel, Mike Lister, Oliver Dowd, and Melville. About 25 meters back to the field. Just under 2 to go. But it doesn't look like anyone is wanting to roll this move. Lots of hesitation. With that hesitation, it looks like it's going to come back together. Revel goes again, though, as the field makes contact with the brake, countering his own move there. 2.5 laps to go. Sorry, 1.5 laps to go. 3K. Valera bridges to Revel. Field is right there, though. They are caught. Field all together now. Just over 1 lap to go now as they come up the front stretch for the bell lap. Matt Moen setting pace for Insured, presented by Pedal Power. Looking like we got about 12 riders on the lead lap in this group. And we got 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go for the lead group in this Cat 1 race. Wondering if we'll see some late attacks or if everyone's just going to watch each other and wait for the sprint. I'd be shocked if we don't have an attack here. Valera for Team California just hanging around, watching the front. Same with Peter O and John Hamlin for Project Echelon. Mike Lister monitoring the front as well. Swart takes to the front to set pace. Matt Moen takes over. Half a lap to go, 1 kilometer. With this being an uphill sprint, wondering how many people are going to go too early and blow up. Really going to have to pace your effort as we do this. As I say that, Mike Swart puts in a big effort. Hamlin goes over the top of him for Project Echelon. Keeping the pace high. 600 meters to go. Blodgett for restart goes early. Peter O, Project Echelon right there. Mike Swart right there. Swart with a big early move. Melville goes over the top though. Matt Moan right there. Matt Moan is gone. Dowd right behind him though. Is Dowd going to pip him at the line? Oh, it's close. We're going to get a photo finish here. Dowd takes it. Phenomenal racing today. Congratulations to Oliver Dowd of Restart Racing taking first. Matt Moan for Insured, presented by Pedal Power, taking second. And Peter, I cannot pronounce your last name, for Project Echelon Racing, taking third. Melville fourth, Bowen fifth, Lister sixth. Let's go to the Cat 2 race now. They should have about one lap to go. So they're coming around. They're going to come up to start-finish line for one to go for the bell lap. We got a group of 5 here. There's 1 or 2 riders that are lapped sitting in this group. Ozarks getting a little bit of a gap here. Everyone kind of watching. Krajewski goes over the top. Keeps the power on. It's just cat and mouse at this point. There's our top 10 results for the Cat 1 race. Dowd, Moan, Oljesnek, Olejnizak, Melville, Bowen, Lister, Revel, Meyer, Schaefer, and Valera rounding out your top 10. Schnorr has gone clear with Pleger chasing him. Krajewski's now sitting in third in no man's land trying to bridge across. Hazara trying to make it up to Krajewski with Rowbottom in tow. Under 1 to go here, 1.4K. I do think it's coming down to Schnorr and Pleger here. Pleger just sitting in tow on Schnorr's wheel. Gonna let Schnorr take him all the way to the line. Krajewski fighting hard, trying to get back on. .600 meters to go for Krajewski. As he makes it up to Alex and Schnorr, goes right over the top and keeps it rolling. 400 meters to go now. This is a move from way far out. I'll be impressed if he can hold this. Schnorr, Hazara, and Pleger together, catching Krajewski now. Hazara goes. 200 meters to go. Krajewski goes over the top. Hazara is fading. Alex gets a big gap though. 80 meters to go with Pleger with a big gap. Schnorr trying to get him. Is Schnorr going to get him at the line? Yes, he is. Great racing by everyone here. Schnorr first, Pleger second, Krajewski third, Hazara fourth. Rowbottom coming in for fifth. Great racing. Let's go over to our Cat 3 race. They should have about 2 laps to go now. So our group of 4 here, Borders has made it back up after his E-mechanical there. Big effort by Brad Borders to get back up to this group of 3. There's our top 4 in the Cat 2 race. Schnorr, Pleger, Krajewski, and Hazara. Great effort by those riders. Cat 3 race is coming up the front stretch. They'll cross the finish line for 2 to go. Looks like Borders is getting... Oh, it looks like Borders has now had another E-mechanical. So showing 0 watts. Boyd goes over the top with a little bit of a gap back to McDaniel. McDaniel trying to close. A dozen bike links or so back to Barg, who has a couple bike links back to Desborough. Boyd's got about 30 meters to McDaniel. Borders is back on his bike. Sitting in no man's land for a pretty solid 5th place. Boyd catching a lapped rider. Boyd has a huge gap back to McDaniel, over 100 meters now, 130 meters. McDaniel's got about 60 meters back to Desborough. And Barg, who are riding together, trying to catch McDaniel. Our top 8 in the Cat 2. Schnorr, Pleger, Krajewski, Hazara, Rowbottom, Smith, Nujabauer, and Strempello. Barg and Desborough catching McDaniel. The 3 of them need to work really hard together, with coming around for 1 lap to go with about 100 meters to Boyd. Boyd putting in a huge effort here. 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go for Boyd. Boyd is just blowing this gap wide open. Hope he's practicing his victory pose as he crosses the line. Less than 1K to go. Race for second here between Disborough and McDaniel. Boyd with 200 meters remaining. He can post up and wave to his fans as he crosses the finish line. Looks like Disborough has attacked McDaniel. Gone solo. Disborough taking second, Boyd taking the win. Looks like McDaniel's going to come in for third. Great riding by all these riders. Again, just a terribly tough course for everyone, no matter the category, no matter the fitness. This is a hard course. In the Cat 4 race, we've got Aguilar soloing. He's about to come around for one to go.
Gentlemen, perhaps we wouldn't be where we are today if we hadn't said to ourselves, just go, 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 go for it.
Hope everyone stays tuned. We've got the women's category 1-2 and the women's category 3-4 races starting in about 7 minutes. We're gonna see some phenomenal racing from those ladies as they're lining up, getting warmed up, getting ready to start. They're gonna be racing the same distance, 20 laps on the same course. Aguilar with one to go. Seigel coming around for 1 to go right now. About half a K behind Aguilar. There's our top 5 in the Cat 3 race. Boyd, Desborough, McDaniel, Borders, and Barg. Phenomenal racing from these guys.
Perhaps we wouldn't be where we are today if we had said to ourselves, go for it.
Just over 1K to go for Aguilar now. .500 meters to go for Aguilar now. Seigel about a half lap behind him. Just under 300 meters now. Aguilar about to solo in for the win in the Cat 4 race. As soon as Aguilar finishes, we'll clip over to the women's races to watch their start. They've got about 2.5 minutes. Aguilar taking in those final 100 meters. Solo victory. Hopefully he's posting up, waving to everyone. Great job to Aguilar. Here's the Cat 1-2 women. So we've got Amy Young, Holly Larson, and Vig Nguyen. They've got about 20 seconds to start. Again, the top 10 in our Cat 1-2 who are not already racing the professional race in the men's and women's races are going to get invites to next weekend's professional Joe Martin stage race. There's our flyover, and the race is on. V win for Inshore, presented by Pillow Power, gets on the front early. Amy Young for Project Echelon comes over the top with Holly Larson for Velocity Vixen joining. And our Cat 3-4, we've got Naven and Kirby. They're now up to speed. We'll see if they work together or start attacking. So it looks like all of our women are together here. Naven getting gapped off a little bit. Here's second place, Seigel crossing to finish in the men's Cat 4 race. Not far behind him, we'll have third, and then just behind him fourth. Great racing by all of these riders. Smith over the top to take third just at the last second. Phenomenal racing by those riders. V Win, back to our women's Cat 1-2 race, has attacked. Opened a gap on Amy Young and Holly Larson. Kirby has attacked Naven in the women's Cat 3-4 race as well. Also, we've got solo leaders in both of our women's races right now. Again, this race, the Joe Martin stage race in real life, taking place in this criterium specifically, the Experience Fayetteville criterium in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Highly recommend getting down there and taking a visit. Beautiful country, beautiful area, phenomenal city. If you've not been there before, highly recommend it. V still solo in the Cat 1-2 race for Inshore presented by Pedal Power. So opening that gap a little further. Amy Young and Holly Arson trying to get on their footing to bring that solo rider back. In the Cat 3-4 race, Kirby is in the same boat with solo, while Naven tries to bring her back. Larson and Young working together well, trying to bring V win back. That gap's still going out. Naven trying to bring Kirby back in the Cat 3-4 race. And our men's Cat 4 results, Aguilar taking the win, Seigel taking second, Smith third, Paz fourth, and Gus Good taking fifth. Phenomenal racing by everyone racing in our men's races today. Looking forward to seeing everyone race the next community events in 2 weeks. Young and Larson continuing to work together. Looking at the comments on Facebook, looks like V is taking on this effort after a 3-hour trainer ride already this morning. Looking forward to seeing all these ladies lining up in the pro stage race next weekend. The criterium will be on the 3rd day of racing after the uphill Devil's Den time trial, and then a 72-kilometer road race that Saturday. The Experience Fayetteville criterium will be the final stage on Sunday. This is a long time to go solo as V Gwyn is coming around to complete her 4th lap. Kirby coming around to complete her, well, she's about 3.5 laps in, so she will be coming around to complete the 4th lap when she does. Larson and Young can work together. This gap is not insurmountable, about 200 meters to V. V will be completing her 5th lap when she comes through the start-finish line this time around. Still just sitting at a steady 4.5 to 5 watts per kilo. Kirby's got about a little over half a kilometer on Naven. At this pace, she might be able to lap. V wins gap is steadily going out, almost at a half a kilometer now to Larson and Amy Young. So we're about 27% into through this race. V wins still solo with half a lap over Larson and Young, who are still working together. In the 3-4 race, we're about at the 25% mark. Kirby solo over Nathan. In the women's 1-2 race, looks like V's going to be catching Larson and Young here in another lap or so. Phenomenal effort from V after 3 hours on the trainer already to jump into this race and put out this kind of show. Looks like Naven will be caught by Kirby here shortly as well in the women's 3-4 race. Kirby has Naven just in sight up the road there. Maybe 100 meters. And Kirby is going to catch Naven right as they cross the start-finish line to complete lap 6. I apologize, to complete lap 7. Naven completing lap 6. And Kirby makes the pass and keeps on rolling. Phenomenal effort by Kirby. In the women's 1-2 race, V is still motoring along. She should be catching Young and Larson here in another lap or so. They are on the same straightaway now. We're at the halfway point in the Cat 1-2 race. V has about 250 meters or so before she catches the other two riders in her field, Young and Larson. We are 7 laps into the Cat 3-4 race with 13 remaining. Larson Young working hard to stay away and not get caught by the brake. V about 150 meters from catching Young and Larson now. V now about 100 meters behind Young and Larson. We'll see the catch here in the next lap or two. And here's V making the catch now. She makes the catch, goes right on through. Larson tries to jump on her wheel. So does Young. V puts in a big effort up the front stretch hill. She'll have 8 laps remaining. Young and Larson not able to hold V's wheel, and she is gone. Kirby coming up to the halfway point. 10 laps to go for Kirby. V really into a rhythm here in this Cat 1-2 race. In our Cat 3-4 race, looks like Kirby's coming around about half a lap. Well, no, sorry, about 600 meters from lapping a second time. Kirby still motoring in the 3-4 race. Looks like an E-mechanical for Naven as she is dropped out of the race. So with just under 6 laps to go for Kirby, she will be soloing this one in. Five to go in the Cat 1-2 race for V. V just over half a lap behind Young and Larson. Be interesting to see if she can lap up for a second time in 8.5 kilometers, 4.5 laps, 4.25 laps. Larson and Young still working really well together. Great efforts by all these riders today. Kirby solo with 7 to go. V solo with just over 4 to go. V coming around for 3 to go now. Kirby going to be coming around for 6 to go. V giving a little wave to the camera bot there as she's approaching 2 to go. Kirby about 5.5 laps to go in her race. Looks like Amy's gapped Larson in the final kilometers of the crit. Three laps to go. Young with a pretty big attack here. Numbers into the red. 50 meters back to Larson now. Larson trying to put in a big effort to catch. We'll see if Young can hold it for the final 3. Young continuing to open that gap back to Larson. 100 meters now. Under 3 to go. V less than a half a lap behind Young and Larson. 1 lap to go for V. Insured, presented by Pedal Power. She'll be a threat next weekend for sure. Kirby still motoring on. Less than 5 laps to go for Kirby, 4.5. And 700 meters to go for V to take the win. She should be able to post up and walk her bike across the line, waving to her fans. Great ride by V. .500 meters to go now. And V takes the win. Okay. V giving a wave to the crowd there, saying thank you for cheering her on. V taking a phenomenal win there. Larson and Young back together now. They're coming around for one lap to go. Kirby putting in some tough work here. 3K to go, 3 laps to go for Kirby. Larson and Young, less than a lap to go on the bell lap. Should be an interesting race for second. Less than a K to go. Young and Larson side by side. Kirby 3 laps to go. Larson with a big move to get in front of Young. Young with a big dig, Larson following. Larson countering. Then Young countering, 450 meters, 460 meters to go. Young keeping the power on in the red. Larson trying to stay with her. Young with a big move now, 250 meters to go. A lot of cat and mouse here. A lot of power being put out, 180 meters. Young digging hard, 140 meters. A little bit of a gap to Larson. 90 meters. Looks like Young is going to hold it to take second place in the Experience Fayetteville criterion for the Joe Martin Stage Race Community Races, with Larson taking third. Great racing by everyone lining up today. We'll go over to Kirby in the Cat 3-4 race. She's got about 2.5 laps to go before she'll solo in for the win here. Kirby at right around 2 to go. Phenomenal effort here by Kirby. She's been solo since the start. 1.5 laps to go for Kirby now. And Kirby coming up for 1 to go. Bell lap for Kirby. And 1 to go. Let's go, Kirby. Kirby with a half lap to go now. Less than 500 meters to go now for Kirby as she solos in for the win in the women's Cat 3-4 race. Great job to all the racers today. Tough course, one of the hardest in real life crit courses in the United States. Highly recommend checking it out. Fayetteville, Arkansas, beautiful town, beautiful state. Definitely worth a vacation and a trip to check it out. Also, make sure you tune in for the Professional Joe Martin Stage Race Virtual Edition next weekend. EchelonRacingLeague.com to find out more details on that. Echelon Racing League Facebook and Instagram as well. All 3 days will be live streamed with commentating by the professionals, Frankie and Drew, Brad Soner, and Lauren Hall. So you won't have to listen to me go on and on. Live stream presented by ZMS Live Streams, Hyper Ice, Saris, RGT Cycling, and USA Cycling. And as Kirby finishes up her solo 40-kilometer effort here, we want to thank everyone for tuning in. I'm Frank Cundiff, and we look forward to seeing everyone next weekend. Thanks.